Good afternoon, Facebook community and YouTube community. Sean Webb here, the Director of Community Engagement in the Foundation for the Desert Sands Educational Foundation. We are continuing with our Educational Foundation panels where we're honoring teachers. And with us today, we have 3 Indio High School graduates, 2 of them being board members and 1 of our principals. How are you doing, ladies?
Great.
Good.
Excellent, excellent. We're just going to kind of go around so we can each introduce yourselves, and we'll get into some of these teacher stories in a second. Why don't we start off with Ms. Conover?
Hello, my name is Anna Conover. I'm a school board member at Desert Sands, and I'm a graduate of Indio High. Well, wrong one. Reflection. Of Indio High, class of '85. I started with Desert Sands in 7th grade. Okay. And here we are.
Excellent, excellent. I can't wait to hear some of your teacher stories. And with us, we also have another board member, Linda Porras. How are you doing, Linda?
I'm good, Linda Porras. Let's see. I've been through with Desert Sands from kindergarten. I started Hoover School and went to Jefferson, and then Indio High School grad, 1975, best alive.
Okay.
And been a school board member since 2016.
Okay, since 2016. So when you said you opened up Hoover School, so your first year was their first year?
No, I didn't open Hoover School.
Okay.
My first year, that was my started kindergarten. I had Mrs. Connors was my kindergarten teacher.
Okay.
At Hoover. Yeah.
Okay.
So I went there. It was K through 6th when I went there.
Okay.
And then Jefferson was 7th and 8th, and then Indio High School, 9th through 12th. So yeah, so it was a long time at Hoover.
Okay. And another Rajah graduate, we have Miss McCormick. How are you doing?
Good. Class of 77. So
Okay.
My journey is a little bit different. That my first teaching assignment was for Desert Sands at Indio High School. So that was kind of neat. And then I went back to serve at Indio High School as the Dean of Students, attendance facilitator, assistant principal. And so I got to spend 12 more years at Indio High School. And now I'm back at Jefferson. Go Jaguars. Thank you, Chris. Yay. So, and I'm a product of the community.
Excellent, excellent. For Anna and Linda, for you that don't know, Margot is one of the first people I met out here when I moved here when I moved here to the desert in 2001. I was a teacher at OLPH, and she used to come over and visit us. And she was my first introduction to Desert Sands teachers. And I want to say that same year, you might have gotten Teacher of the Year, Margot. I remember them talking about that.
Probably. That was when I was at Johnson Elementary.
Yep. That's it. Maybe Anna, you want to share about some of your teachers that you had while in school at Desert Sands?
Well, I know the one that stands out when I was at Jefferson was Mr. Anderson was a science teacher at Jefferson. And his classes were just fun. I mean, they were just fun. They were interesting, a lot of experiments. And that one is like the standout one from Jefferson. In high school, there's a couple of teachers. I know the one that really got me interested in really that there's something other than the Coachella Valley was my French teacher, Mrs. Kissock. I took French for 4 years. The choices were French, German, or Spanish, right? And I said, no, I'm going to not take Spanish because, that'll be easier. I'm never going to live in Germany. So I want to travel to France. I'm going to take French. Lo and behold, I ended up living in Germany for 7 years, kicking myself, going, you know what? I should have taken that German class. But I did get to use my French, and she opened this world up to me as far as, there's other places other than, Indio and the Coachella Valley. So I do appreciate that love of the world that came from her class, as well as Coach Rice was pretty instrumental. I remember his biology classes, and he was a family friend. So, I mean, all the teachers, but it's been a while.
Yeah, and those are the ones that stand out. Those are the ones we remember.
Those are the ones that stand out. Yeah.
And as you said, Coach Rice, I saw Mrs. McCormick immediately nod her head. Margot, maybe if you want to share about some of the teachers that had an impact with you.
Yeah, for me, I have to say in high school, I have many, but Marian Marietta, she really had the passion for math. And I know she was very patient, and she would meet with any and all her students anytime, after school, during lunch. She would just make you feel so confident with math. And if you are a young lady in my time, we struggled sometimes with math. So that was really connection that she made. The other one I have to say was Al Kushner. He was my physics teacher, and he would do all kinds of crazy things with us. So it kind of engaged me and sparked me, because then I decided, wow, I can do math and science. And then I majored in math and science. So it worked for me. And then I think about coaches like Coach John Lowell, who used to get us up in the morning and after school to swim. So that took our extra energy out and gave us determination and drive. And I think of and Dennis Jahola, who's still around, and he comes and subs for the district. He's real phenomenal as a coach, just really giving you that drive and that passion. So for me, multitude of teachers that I'm grateful for, because they set me on my path to where I'm at today.
Oh, definitely. And they set you on your path so much that you went back to Indio High School and worked there for so many years.
Yeah, I decided to give back to my community.
I love that. Now, how was that as an experience when you first started there? I'm sure you had teachers there that were, your teachers.
Sure. I had Mrs. Knowles the first time I showed up as a sub. Beverly Knowles, who was my English teacher as a freshman, was the one who saved me, because there was another teacher that was trying to ask me to leave the teacher's lounge because I looked really young. And then Beverly Knowles comes behind me and says, she graduated, she's okay, she's one of us now. So that was really,
oh, that's too funny.
It was a good one. She rescued me, and it was great to see faces. And I'm so grateful to have that experience, because I just had a whole wealth of people that would surround you and you could learn from. Now as a teacher, right? So you're different, but you're not a student anymore, you're a teacher. So they additionally taught you, here are the ropes, here's what you need to do. So that was good.
Wow, great stories. Thank you for sharing. Linda, what would you like to share about your teachers?
Well, when I think about Hoover, my first teacher was Mrs. Connors, who I just adored. She was an amazing teacher, and great with kids, made you feel comfortable. I remember being scared going into kindergarten, and she was just really wonderful, person. And I knew her throughout the rest of my life. I went to school with some of her kids, and that kind of, went hand in hand, when you're here in the Valley for so long. So, and then I had Marilyn Mason in, I think, 3rd and 4th grade at Hoover. And she was like my favorite teacher. I just loved her. I actually, after I got out of her classroom, I would go back to visit her, just to see her, and say hi to her. So she was really instrumental. When it was during the Vietnam War, we made care packages for the soldiers and sent them over to Vietnam in her classroom. So that was just like a really, great experience. And, but yeah, I loved Mrs. Mason. And then at Jefferson, Mrs. Melkessian was my favorite teacher, and I loved Mrs. Melkessian. She passed away too soon, but she was a really wonderful person, and I knew her kids also. And high school, yeah, Coach Jahola he's pretty special. I think everybody loves Coach Jahola because he's very involved with the community, but he's just an all-around great guy. But Mr. Bayshore, I was in drama. My freshman year, I had Mr. Sachs for the first year of drama, and he was great. And then I had Mr. Bayshore for the following 3 years, and he just was a phenomenal teacher for drama. And anyway, but yeah, so the high school theater is named after him, Mr. Bayshore.
I was not aware of that. Okay.
Yeah. And Coach Copeland was really great. I had him at Indio High for swim, and he was a world-class diver, and you would never think it because he was kind of on the heavy side, but he could dive into a pool and not even make a splash. It was like amazing to watch him, dive off the diving board. And anyway, but and then I had Coach Hendrickson for biology. Just there's so many teachers, but there really are teachers that really do make an impact on your life, and you remember them because of how they really cared about you. And I think that those are the ones that really stick out, and make an impression in your mind. So.
Of course, no, definitely. Having a great teacher is all about having that great relationship that they develop with you and so forth. And one of the things that I can really appreciate out of Indio High School, moving here early in the early 2000s, I see this one statement all over the place. And Indio High School alumni say it all the time. Can one of you explain this to me? Once a Rajah, always a Rajah. And that's being posted by Marcy Herrera, who's a current assistant principal at Indio. So I've heard that a ton of times. Can somebody maybe help explain where that originated from? Because I've been out here almost 20 years and I hear it all the time everywhere.
I think that goes along with, there's two kinds of people. Those that are Rajahs and those that want to be Rajahs.
Wish they were.
Into this, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that honestly, I don't remember who started it. It happened, way past after I graduated, which was in '75. But I have heard that since then. So I really don't know who was the one that originated it. But yeah, it's a great saying, And then also, what is it, Rajah that? That's like a big thing right now. It's Rajah that. So
yeah, I think that goes to the current principal, Mr. Lawson, who is a graduate of the class of '80, and he also is a valedictorian. So that's kind of cool that he's come back to serve his community and worked his way up to becoming the principal at Indio High School.
Well, he was a mascot. He was the mascot too. Yeah, which was really, really cool. Yeah, Derek was the mascot. So yeah,
that tells you how much pride in the school he had.
Yeah.
And to this day, you'll see him on the sidelines occasionally. I know I worked with Mr. Mazzei over at Palm Desert High School, and he's actually the one that sent Mr. Lawson the costume when he got the job at Indio.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he said it too because he knew that Derek would definitely embrace that. Now, the three of you obviously went to Indio when it looked much different. When you see this new campus, what are some of the things that maybe you could share with the community that hasn't seen the new campus that maybe we could highlight about Indio? One thing I'm amazed with is the program that Caesar runs over there, Caesar Lopez, Barajas, and the agricultural program. So a lot of times when I was at La Quinta High, working with the students over there, we would throw on these massive events. It may be a wedding, it may be a catering event for 300 people, and we always needed centerpieces. And whenever we needed centerpieces or floral, we just called up Caesar, and boom, he got them there at a great price where he was able to make some money. We were able to make some money for the program. And then we got, experiential experience for these kids. Is there anything that maybe you want to highlight on in Indio that you've maybe wasn't there when you were there that you've noticed?
Well, everything. It's completely different. It doesn't look at all anything like when I was there. I mean, I've even tried when I go there to visit to try to imagine the way it used to look, and like, where's the 70 wing, for crying out loud, But it's a beautiful. I mean, it looks like a college campus. I mean, it looks absolutely nothing like what I grew up with, and it's amazing. I mean, I am like in awe of Indio High School now, the way it looks, and all of the opportunities that are available to our kids that we never had. I mean, we had like wood in auto and, just basic stuff, not even really all of the things that they offer now. So yeah, I'm really blown away, really. I mean, it still is exciting to walk on that campus and just see all of the possibilities, for our kids. So, and I mean, I've had people ask me, hey, could alumni of mine, could we do a tour of Indio High? Because we'd love to see it. They'd love to see what it really looks like instead of just driving by. But it's world class, amazing, so that's just that. I mean, it's everything. I mean, I can't even just pick one thing because it's everything.
Right. And for those of you that are listening and watching, if you do want to take a tour of the high schools or of any of our sites and so forth, we have these great tours called Trek tours that our board of trustees will lead and so forth to our different school sites to go over our different programs. And I actually got to go on the one with the Indio Rotary where we toured the high school. I believe we went to what was it, the Indio Middle School that day, as well as Summit Horizon, where we got to see the different programs. And it was just awesome to see people in the community walk in to either the engineering lab or the impact studio and see what's going on with these students. Are pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Margot, is there any other teachers that you'd like to kind of mention and so forth?
Well, I can just say I was going to dovetail with what Ms. Porras said about the change of Indio High School. And I think because I was there for so long and I was there during the long construction. So I can remember the fountain. I can remember where the 70 wing was. And then to see the transformation was really amazing because I left the year that the transformation was completing. And I think for me, just in a principal side that works with one of the feeder schools, Jefferson, that feeds into Indio, for me, I love to see the advancement on the programs that they offer through CTE. The broadcast that they have, the Impact Center, just ties right nicely with the broadcast center that we have. And I really like to see our students as they move forward in that capacity. I love seeing the A+ certification through the business department. And I love to see those students, our students directly feed into their program. And of course, Caesar in just the whole agriculture program, because that's originally where I started, was the agriculture program way back when. So now to see it come full tilt, it's just amazing to see how our students grow. And the wonderful thing is when our students come back, or actually when Indio High School students come back at the end of the year to visit our school and see our teachers and thank our teachers during their bus rally, it's really great because sometimes, teachers, you remember teachers maybe in your kindergarten, maybe you might remember a few in middle school, but when they come back and to say thank you, that all, puts it into perspective.
Most definitely. Ms. Conover, is there any other teachers or memories or stories that you'd like to possibly share in regards to this?
Well, just talking about the change in the site, you're all correct. I mean, it's totally different. I remember the first time I went into the new facility and just like Margot mentioned, the fountain. I was like, wait, am I sitting where, the parking lot is probably where the fountain was or the admin or somewhere. And I'm like, I remember the trees, the big, huge, beautiful trees, the fountain, sitting out there in the shade during lunch or, before after school, and I thought, wow, okay. I mean, it's all gone. So a lot of the memories kind of go with it. And it's kind of hard to superimpose your old memories onto a new site. But I mean, it's a beautiful site. Kids do deserve something new and beautiful. But it's kind of nostalgic when you drive by. That whole street has changed. Even when they would just kind of like veer off by where the windshield is. I mean, it's changing. Indio is changing, and that's always good.
Yeah. I think the one thing that hasn't changed really is the stadium.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
It's pretty similar to where it was.
Yeah, the original.
They have a new scoreboard though, so that's kind of nice.
Yeah. Thank goodness that finally happened. For me, I wish we would get a new press box because that press box is just horrid. I mean, and then the one thing I don't like is the blue wall on Clinton. I mean, it's like, I feel like that's the one thing that still needs to be, updated because everything else is this brand new, beautiful school. And then we've got, the press box that needs to be done, but that's a whole other story. So, but anyway, that's one thing that, I remember as a kid running up those stairs and it's the same stairs, Yeah.
No, I became an assistant principal, and prior to that, I was a coach. And many times, for the first couple of years, I coached at CV High School, and I was just amazed the first couple of times I went to the Bell game, and could not believe the crowds that were in the stands. And then it didn't matter if your team was 5-0 or 0-5, that game was always close.
Yeah.
And those athletes who just play hard and play strong the whole game for both teams, and that pride was just absolutely amazing. And I feel like because of that Rajah pride, that's why we have people saying, once a Rajah, always a Rajah, those types of things. And that's why we have probably some of our most upstanding people in the community who have come back have come from Indio High School.
Yeah.
They have that pride, most definitely.
Yeah.
You know, we're coming up on 20 minutes here. I don't want to keep everybody on for forever and so forth, but we want to wrap up. You know, things are obviously different right now with coronavirus going on. You know, we changed completely. You know, Mr. Bailey talks about the infamous Friday the 13th and how things have changed. I know that like board meetings are being held teleconferencely. You know, we're having Zoom meetings for class. We're, you know, rather than me going into communities and shops, I'm doing this with people. Is there anything that you'd like to tell our students or families in regards to what's going on? Any direct message?
All right, don't all jump out at once.
Linda.
Well, I just want to say that I am sad. I'm sad that our seniors don't get to have a regular graduation, and you know, it's really out of our control. But it's almost like if there could have been a time that this could have happened and we could kind of deal with it in a different way, this is probably the best time it could have happened, because with technology the way it is, and we're able to actually reach out to the community and talk to the kids and families. You know, if this had happened, you know, 30 years ago, we wouldn't have had the same opportunities, you know.
Right.
But yeah, I'm excited that we were able to, you know, Desert Sands was able to really step up and do a virtual graduation, and that it's small, you know, that we're doing this. But the way that everybody's coming together to put it together for our students is awesome. So I really applaud the tech department and everything that everybody's doing, that everybody that has a hand in it. And I really I pray that it's going to be good, you know, for what we can do. So, but I just wish all of our students, you know, the best. And then this too shall pass. I mean, you know, I really believe this will pass. But anyway, just that one. So 2020, congratulations, grads. Indio High.
Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. You know, one of the things I had a panel of DSUSD alumni that are in the community right now. And one of the panelists, Andy Clark, he graduated in 1991 from Palm Desert High School. And he actually has a child that's a senior at Palm Desert High right now. And he actually said he was glad for this slowdown for students and a slowdown for his own child, because a lot of their lives right now are just on this.
Yeah.
And with this slowdown, it has allowed for them to develop more family type things going on in the household, because you're forced to be home.
Right.
As well as it's helped him. And I thought this was very interesting. He said it's helped develop grit in his child, that his child needed to have some grit. And I feel that everybody needs to have a little bit of grit. You know, I think this is just going to make us stronger. We're evaluating, looking at things that we're very successful in doing. And here, this will just make us stronger.
Yeah, I agree.
Margo or Anna, anything you'd like to say before we kind of sign off here?
No, just a shout out. I have 2 nieces graduating this year.
Okay.
Jenna at La Quinta High School and Celeste from Indio High School. And I feel when the parents and families are saying, you know, they feel sad that their children aren't getting graduation. I was really looking forward to handing them their graduation this year. And I mean, you know, that's just kind of leaves a little hitch, but you know, they're healthy. They're loved, and really that's all we can ask for, you know, at this time when so many people, you know, are having a really difficult time. So while we are sad family, I mean, I know that the community is really rallying around the seniors. I see the Jumbotron, I see the signs, I see the Adopt a Senior in the Coachella Valley. So, you know, the community is really rallying around our seniors, and that's lovely to see. I just wish them all well. I mean, and, you know, stay healthy, stay safe.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I have to agree with what everyone's saying, but I also know that we're graduates and we had great relationships, and we had a great education at Desert Sands, and we graduated from Indio High School and came back to serve our community in whatever capacity, whether or not you come home or whether or not you go out in the world. And I think that's the most important thing to take the good part of what you got, all the teachers that cared for you, the relationships you built, the activities you were involved in, the education you got. Take it out, make it your own, and you'll always have those memories.
Yeah. Most definitely, yeah.
I just want to say one more thing. I'm really appreciative. I'm really appreciative of Palm Springs Unified and CV Unified, and how they have all the districts have come together to be there for our seniors across the Coachella Valley. And I think it's awesome. And it's amazing that they're doing that. So it's a three-ring cord or whatever that's called, makes us stronger. So I believe that our kids are going to come out stronger.
Most definitely. And you gotta give credit also. From what I understand, KESQ is going to do a special for all the seniors in the Coachella Valley, and they're going to have speakers from all the schools. They're going to have the superintendent speak. I believe some student speakers and so forth. And they realize what's going on and what's important for these kids. So you got to appreciate the community even more with that.
Yeah.
But ladies, thank you so much for taking the time on this Friday to do this. I know that we all have some time right now, but thank you for taking the time.
What else are we going to do? No.
Exactly. Thank you for being on Facebook. Thank you for being on YouTube with us. One of the things that we're doing, you may know her from the La Quinta High days. On Tuesdays and Thursday mornings, I'm having a little similar thing like this where we're bringing on our community partners from Desert Sands, all the schools, that have worked out in the community with all these different businesses. So we're bringing on the business leaders to talk with Chef Mary. And if you remember Chef Mary from La Quinta, and we're calling it Morning Coffee with Chef Mary. And we're just doing like 15 minutes on Tuesdays and Thursday mornings. And I'm happy to say that this next Tuesday, we have the National Charity League coming on to talk with Chef Mary. You may not know this, but whenever La Quinta or any big events that I've done, even with the foundation, I've always included the National Charity League mothers and daughters to assist and help. So we have one of their families coming on to talk to us about that.
That's great.
But but
I really applaud you, Sean, for doing this. This is an awesome thing that you're doing. So thank you so much.
Well, I love my job and I love people, and this is the only way to see them. So I got to do something. Well, thank you all. You guys have a great weekend. And once again, this was a great panel to honor some of our past teachers. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.